Good morning, Keyshawn.
Good morning, Skip.
I didn't see this one coming. So how surprised were you that Justin Fields got traded to the Steelers?
It's weird because I'm not surprised, but I'm surprised.
Yeah.
Because I started feeling like, as I was looking at things, I'm saying to myself, okay, they clearly must be building this team to retain Justin Fields, and they're playing a little poker game with the other teams that are looking to move up to the #1 spot. When you go and you trade for Keenan Allen, you DeAndre Swift on the offensive side, then you also have DJ Moore. So you got the draft coming up. You sign defensive players like Jalen Johnson. I'm sitting there saying, okay, they want to compete. They want to be competitive. They're finally getting what you have to do with #1 draft picks at the quarterback position is put players around them for them to be successful. Because if you look at last year, Justin Fields got better the second half when he came back off the injury. He missed a couple games, but he got better.
I give you
that.
So
I'm sitting there and I'm saying, okay, they're evaluating this because it doesn't make sense to me that Ryan Pace in 2021 gave away the number 20 overall pick, a 5th rounder at 164. In addition to that, 2022 first rounder and the 4th rounder to move up.
I did.
3 seasons later with multiple head coaches and multiple offensive coordinators and 0 players around him that made any sense to help a young quarterback survive.
Except for DJ Moore last year,
Except for DJ Moore a year ago.
Yes. Okay.
That they would move on from him.
They would move on.
And then they finally did, and it's good for him, but it's bad for Chicago, in my opinion. Because you did all this to do what? You're going to draft a young quarterback. I don't know which one they're going to draft. I don't know if it's Jaden Daniels. I don't know if it's Caleb. I have no idea.
I'm not sure they know at this moment, but go ahead.
Okay. So, Skip, if you're doing all this to draft a guy, what if you go 7-10 and 8-9? Does the coach keep his job? Does the general manager and Ryan Poles keep his job?
Very good question.
Because if you're doing all of this for a rookie quarterback to go 8-9, 7-10, you could have did all this with a guy who's only 25 years old and has 3 years of professional football experience. And you could have gone 8-9, 7-10 with him and put yourself in a much better position with a guy that's a veteran. Because in this situation, I just don't see it. Now, in terms of this resetting the room with a quarterback and all that sort of stuff, that is just a conversation, man, to be honest with you, Skip. Because if you're going to pay Caleb Williams about $40 million of guaranteed money with about 25 or so, maybe 26 projected based on what Bryce Young got a year ago, this season, and if the 5th-year option on Justin Fields is about $25 million if you were to pick it up on a 5th-year option. So in 2 years, you get him for about $27 million over 2 years. You're going to spend that same amount of money and a little bit more on the guaranteed side over the course of the contract for Caleb Williams or any of these other rookies that you're thinking about. Think about what I'm saying. 2 years, meaning 2024 and 2025 with Justin Fields, I think it's about $28 million that you're going to spend. You got a chance to look at that with this group of people and say, well, it didn't work out, we can move on. Or you could say, New York Giant, like, we're not going to pick up your 5th-year option. We want you to perform and do what you need to do, and then we'll come and address that at the end of the season or toward the end of the season and give you an extension. Daniel Jones, like. They decide to say, no, we're going to start the deck all over again, Skip, and start with a rookie quarterback as a head coach and a general manager that's on the hot seat in Chicago. Because people that I know in Chicago are not very happy with the Justin Fields trade. A lot of people in Pittsburgh I know extremely happy with the Justin Fields trade. I mean, they got him for a bag of nickels and a pack of chewing gum.
They did.
And he's not going to compete with Russell Wilson, so to speak. But he's going to sit there and learn from Russell Wilson. Opportunity now for him not to pick up his 5th-year option by May 2nd, but sit here and say this to him. Russell played well. We want you to learn from him. We're going to give you a nice backup extension for 2 years until Russell decides to walk away. and the job is yours.
Yeah.
They win all day long. They just do. I mean, I'm happy for Mike Tomlin in Chicago. I have no idea what Pittsburgh, I have no idea what the Chicago Bears are doing.
Okay.
I have zero idea.
Is it fair to say the Steelers stole Justin Fields for a couple of packages of now and laters, right?
Yes. Yes.
I learned what they are. We didn't have them in Oklahoma City. I've been going back and forth a little way. We just didn't have them. I don't know what they are. All right.
I'll get some and bring them in to you just so you can see them.
I'm not sure I'll try, but
no, you can see them.
I can see
what it looks like.
He sent me a bunch of pictures.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Except he said in New Orleans, it got sort of contracted into 9 laters. They called them 9 laters. I don't know. Whatever. Who knows? All right. We have gone back and forth about Justin Fields. And you like him, and I try to like him. I've told you repeatedly, I was lukewarm on him going into the draft. Not bad, not great. That's the best thing I can say about him. But I do like his intangibles, and watching him very closely over these last 3 years now. He started quite a few games. What is he now? He's 10-28. So he started 38 NFL games, 10-28 with nothing around him. I got you. But I like the way he competes. That's what I like the most about him. Do I think he's a great thrower of the football? I do not. Would I take Caleb Williams' ceiling over his ceiling? Yes, I would, and I've told you that from the start. Michael Irvin was on Friday. You weren't with us on Friday. Michael was pretty dug in. He's just not sold on Justin at all. He thinks he's more of a career backup quarterback. Well, I got to tell you, the league just spoke with Michael Irvin on this. The league just screamed back at you, no. Like, the league is out on Justin Fields. If the best you can get back for him is a conditional 6th-round pick, and again, if he doesn't play next year, because they have obviously scheduled Russ to play, and if Russ stays upright all year, that conditional 6 will remain a 6. So you got Justin Fields, and you just detailed what the Bears gave to trade up for him to become the 11th pick in the draft. You got him for a 6th-round pick after just 3 years in the league. It's incomprehensible to me, but the league is saying no to Justin Fields. And the shocker to me was, I told you, we both love Antonio Pierce. I just thought, if I look back on it, the Raiders could have had him for, let's say, a 5th-round pick or a 4th round. I don't know, right? Somewhere in there. Just do it. He fits the way they play football. They play defense. They run the football. They try to play careful football. Let's not turn it over. Let's win it with some intangibles, with some competitiveness, some fire. I liked his fit in Las Vegas much more than I liked it in Chicago even. So I thought, that makes sense to me. And if you could just try it for a 5th-round pick, why
would I want to go and repeat it all over again if I'm Justin Fields and go to the Raiders with Luke Getsky as my offensive coordinator? That was my offensive coordinator in Chicago.
Well, I mean, I don't want to do that. Could that not be a good thing for...
No, I don't want to do that because I failed essentially with him. He got fired. He didn't move on. Yeah. They fired him just like they moved on from Justin Fields. Now, remember this, Skip.
I don't know what Luke Getsky likes, Skip, but go ahead.
Remember, Skip, Justin Fields gave the Chicago Bears teams that he wanted to go to. And I don't know that the Raiders was on that list. No, he did.
Yeah,
he talked to Ryan Poles and said, hey,
I don't know.
These are the few teams that I want to play for. Okay. And you look at the 6th-round pick and you say, okay, how could that happen? The league has given up on him. No, the league hasn't.
Yeah.
That's why he's in Pittsburgh. If the league given up on him, they would have to
the league didn't jump to say, "Oh my God,
why would I jump to go grab something that I know they're gonna give away at some point in time because they misplayed their hand?" Chicago misplayed their hand by telling everybody, "We're gonna move on from Justin Fields," instead of just playing it all the way to the end.
But they thought somebody would say, I'll give you a
Don't say anything.
Yeah.
You can't say anything.
Okay, but how do you make him available? How do you make it known?
You sit tight. The draft is at the end of the month. They're not drafting tomorrow. They're drafting at the end of the month.
Yeah.
Of next month.
Maybe.
Better yet, they're drafting at the end of the month.
But I'd never seen this before, where your starting quarterback was just flat out made available. Ryan Poles said, what was that? I want to live in the gray. I'm going to make it clear. He's available.
That's his fault.
Yeah, he's available.
That's not what the San Francisco 49ers did with Trey Lance. They didn't tell everybody he's available.
No.
Nobody even you.
I mean, it looked like he was becoming because Brock Purdy was taken off.
Looking like and telling somebody is two different things.
Yeah, but again, the Bears didn't have Brock Purdy. They didn't have anybody.
And that's the whole point.
Except
so
the
why
first
not?
round
So
pick.
why not just sit back and wait for it to develop, and then you can get something out of it? I understand what Michael Irvin said on Friday. Michael doesn't like those type of quarterbacks. He's looking for Troy Aikman. Okay, that's what he's looking for. Me, on the other hand, I look at the bigger picture of everything with him and other quarterbacks in the National Football League.
Yeah.
Okay, I look at all that stuff.
Michael's biggest issue with Justin was that he tried to shift the blame off himself. Remember
I don't care about that. Everybody does those sort of things when things aren't going right. He's a young man trying to learn how to play. They didn't do him right in Chicago. You got to be a damn fool, Skip, to think, oh, he's out there with Keenan Allen and DJ Moore last year.
Okay.
In the year before that. In the year before that. He had nothing. You strip Diggs away from Josh Allen. You strip receivers away from Joe Burrow. You see what they gonna look like. See what they gonna look like. I don't care what nobody say. They're not gonna look the same. This is why Baltimore did what they did to elevate the passing game for Lamar Jackson. This is why the Philadelphia Eagles did what they did to elevate the passing game for Jalen Hurts. You can't tell me that this kid can't play in the National Football League. Okay. He just got better last year, by the way, with a bum offense.
He did. I give you that.
Come on.
He, as a starter, he went 5-8 last year, and for that team, even though he had DJ, that's pretty good. I give you pretty good.
You got one guy with a red dot on him. You don't have three guys. You got one guy.
By the way, before we leave this behind, I will bet you Joe Burrow will look exactly like Joe Burrow next year, no matter who's catching the football.
Well, you got Jamar Chase and T. Higgins.
All right, okay.
Come on now, Skip.
Okay, but you said strip all these receivers away. Let's see how he looks.
If you take them top dogs away from that dude and give him what Justin Fields had, it ain't going to be the same. It's just the reality of it. Think about all the quarterbacks in the National Football League that are any good. They all got somebody except Matthew Stafford.
I know, but you just relegate them to, if they don't have receivers, they don't look very good.
They don't.
Joe Burrow will look real good.
No, you can't say that because he's always had top dogs, so you can't say that.
Never had a tight end of any note.
I'm not talking about tight ends. I'm talking about receivers.
Yeah.
Okay, tight ends can help you too.
No, can they?
Okay.
Okay, now I'm going to flip it to the Steelers. And Omar Khan has not gotten much publicity or recognition, but he just pulled off an all-timer to me because they got sick and tired of yes, no, maybe at quarterback with Pickett or Trubisky or Mason Rudolph or whoever it's been since Ben. And remember, the last maybe 2-3 years have been pretty shaky.
Yeah, just a guy.
Yeah, he became just a guy. So it's been a long, cold winter in Pittsburgh when it came to quarterback play until now. And almost overnight, it felt like, he flipped the script completely. And Omar Khan did not play football at all. He came up as an analytics guy. All the way, he's 47 years of age. He's been doing this for a long time, quietly in the shadows. And all of a sudden, he got to run the show, and he went out and said, I'm going to go get Russell Wilson, and then I'm going to figure out how to go get, wait, he's going to get Justin Fields on top of Russ? That knocked me over. I did not see that coming. And he has now perfectly positioned the Steelers for now and then, now and laters, right? Well, he has. It's beautiful because I don't think Justin is going to actually be able to compete for the job, though I don't know. Knowing Mike Tomlin, maybe he would give him a chance to compete. But they got Russ for the next couple of years, let's say couple of years, right?
I think so.
And
that's fair.
It will not hurt Justin's growth at all if he watches for a couple more years. He's 25 years old. He'll be just fine.
That's what I was saying to you, Skip. I said, look at it this way. You got Justin Fields in Pittsburgh. You don't pick up his fifth-year option. You have a real conversation with him. You give him a 2-year deal or whatever, high backup money. Call it $24 million as high backup money for him over 2 years.
Okay.
And you sit and you learn.
Okay.
Behind
beautiful.
Wilson.
It's just beautiful.
He's only 25.
Yeah, you couldn't do any better than that. So way to go, Omar Khan. He gets no run on this show. I just wanted to throw his name out there because that was good. And when you tell me that his quarterback payroll is going to be, they're going to have to add a third quarterback, so I don't know how much that'll cost, but they just have the two right now.
They don't necessarily have to, but I understand.
But, you know, they probably will. But they almost certainly will. But now you got these two quarterbacks, Russell Wilson and Justin Fields, and we like them. The harder I looked at Russ's numbers last year, they were pretty good.
He was fine. He was solid.
25 and 8, 25 touchdowns to 8. He lost 5 fumbles. I'm sure Sean didn't love that. And in red zone, he was not very good. I'm sure Sean really, really didn't love that. But overall, under the circumstance, I thought he was pretty good. He led the league in sacks, and I'm sure about half of them were his fault.
If Pittsburgh had Russell Wilson as their quarterback last year, based on the way that they played, they may win 2 more games.
Maybe.
And that puts them in a different position in the division as well as the conference.
Yeah. So, by the way, you got a hellacious good backup quarterback now. In case it comes to that, you are good to go. And as you well know, that they want to sit back and play defense. And remember, they added Patrick Queen because they got cap room now because they didn't commit a whole lot of money to any quarterback. I mean, I'm going to, just before I leave this behind, so that's a grand total of $4.33 million for Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. If I told you that a month ago, you would have laughed in my face. You're going to get both of them for $4.33 and have them both on your roster. And I remind everybody, Kirk Cousins just signed let's do it the other way. The Atlanta Falcons just signed Kirk Cousins for $50 million this year guaranteed and $50 million next year guaranteed. And the Steelers got 2 pretty good quarterbacks for $4.33 million. Is that not the all-time steal? It's the all-time.
I don't even know if that's a cap. That cap hits, like you said, 4.3 million.
Yeah.
Just looking at some cap hits like a Bryce Young, this year coming up, he's 8.6 for the Carolina Panthers. Okay. You got 2 guys that have started in this league that barely is over the 4-point mark.
Yeah, you do. And obviously Pittsburgh's got Najee Harris and Jalen Warren, and they're going to bang and crash the football up the middle, and they're just going to play defense, and they're going to do it the right way. And they got one of the best coaches, if not the best coach in pro football. I like their chances. And you just sent a new message to the locker room. How many games, help me out here because you've been there, how many games did the Pittsburgh defense go into the postgame locker room looking sideways at the offense like, come on, man. Come on, man.
A lot.
Come on, man.
Especially before they fired the offensive coordinator. Once they fired the offensive coordinator, then they tried to reset everything.
Yeah.
When you look at it, though, he's got a certain percentage, meaning in Justin Fields, he's a 6th-round pick, but if he plays 51% of the snaps, it'll move up to a 4th-round pick.
But what are the odds?
I can play both of them. I can have packages for Justin Fields, no question about it.
I'm good with that.
But he ain't playing 51% of the snaps.
Unless Russ gets hurt.
Unless Russ gets hurt.
Right.
So you can put a package together for him and help you win games. And still, basically, it's a 6th-round pick. You don't have to give up any more because he's not going to play 51% of the snaps.
I'm just dumbfounded that you could pull that. Think of the message you just sent to your locker room. Look what we just did.
Yes.
You don't think there's a new pep in their step?
That's why I was puzzled when you said the league said no. No, the league didn't say no. Pittsburgh said yes. They're part of the league. They said yes.
I know, but they didn't have to do it for a 1st-round pick. They did it for a 6th-round pick.
Because, I don't think anyone put I personally think he's better than the quarterbacks of the draft, but that's me. Maybe I just don't know the position. In the end, I think Ryan Poles played it wrong. He gave information away way too early. Way too early.
Well, that can go one of 2 ways. Either you make him available and people just line up for him and you auction him off to the highest bidder, or you get stuck. And he got stuck.
But once you say to somebody, we're moving on from him, they're not going to line up for him.
Yeah.
Because they know in the end, he's not, if you don't like him like that, why are we going to give high picks for him when we can get him for nothing?
Yeah, to your point, here's what's the biggest shock to me is that they didn't just wait until draft night. If the 6th was the best you got on the table from Pittsburgh, just hang in there. Hang in. Let's get a little close. We're still, a month away from the draft? Okay, just hang tight. Don't panic. Don't play your hand too quickly. Just wait. Unless Pittsburgh said, well, if we'll pull the 6th.
It doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
In the end, I could go into post-draft and still get a 6th-round pick, and here's why. Because there's 32 teams in the league. somebody is going to draft a quarterback in the 6th round. Somebody is going to take a flyer on some quarterback in the 6th round, the 5th round, the 4th round that's nowhere near as good as Justin Fields. So you can do it post-draft. If you drafted Caleb or any of these other quarterbacks, you can simply say that particular team didn't get what they was looking for in the draft.
Yeah.
Here's your guy. We'll give us your 5th round pick.
Yeah.
And that team doesn't have to pick up his 5th-year option. They just don't. Here's a 5th round pick for you. We're going to take a free look-see at you as our backup. That's exactly how that goes.
All right. So that leaves the Chicago Bears still with the 1st overall pick. And again, I'm a much bigger fan of Caleb Williams than you are. I know they were not happy with some of the things that came out during the week of the combine and the way he handled himself and the father's involvement. You and I have talked. You've brought it up again and again. I don't know if the father is going to try to hardball him out of Chicago into Washington, because obviously kid grew up in Washington, D.C.
Or
area.
maybe Chicago, maybe Caleb isn't the answer.
Yeah.
Maybe it really is Jaden Daniels, and they feel as though they're going to play poker face right now and get Washington to move up to the 1. They could drop down to the 2 and still get Jaden Daniels and the guy that they want all along and pick up some extra picks. Maybe that's the way they're playing it.
Okay. And yet, I would not at all be shocked if they took Drake May with this pick. I wouldn't be completely shocked if they took J.J. McCarthy.
If they took another quarterback.
Listen, J.J. McCarthy is the one local kid on the board. He's a Chicago kid.
If they took J.J. McCarthy with the number 1 overall pick, the people in Chicago will burn that stadium down.
You think so?
Oh, my God.
I don't think they would for a local
Oh, my
kid.
God.
I'm not sure about that.
They certainly would.
Well, he just won the national championship. I don't know. Yeah.
The dude threw less than 15 balls in 8 college football games this year. 8 passes against Penn State.
In the second half, he threw 0.
Come on, man. Stop.
No, I got it. I'm just saying that's why this is so fascinating. I will bet you that is being discussed.
Chicago going to screw it up either way, though, in my opinion.
They well might. Speaking of screwing things up, how about my Dallas Cowboys? They lose Tyron Smith to the New York Jets for about $20 million a year with incentives. You know, I'm starting to think my Cowboys are going to miss the playoffs next season. That's where this is headed. Thanks for watching, Undisputed fans. Do you want more highlights from the show? Make sure to click that subscribe button for all the exclusive content from Undisputed.